Welcome to IELTS Listening. Today, we study IELTS 18, Test 2, Part 1, Working at Milo's Restaurants. In this part, there are 10 questions. All are note completion. Each answer can be only one word or a number. All 10 questions use keyword location. Listen for the prompt words and find the answers in order. For Part 1, remember 3 core tips. First, read the notes before listening and predict the type of answer. Second, use anchor words to locate the answer. Third, check spelling and format. This is a job enquiry conversation. The woman works for the restaurant and the man wants a job. They talk about benefits, travel, and requirements. Now, let's look at the first topic, company benefits. This covers questions 1 to 3 and turns 1 to 4. The second topic is about uniforms and transport. This covers questions 4 to 7 and turns 5 to 9. The third topic is about the requirements for the job. This covers questions 8 to 10 and turns 10 to 12. From the heat map, we can see clearly. Questions 1 to 3 are in the first topic, questions 4 to 7 are in the second topic, and questions 8 to 10 are in the third topic. In this dialogue, there are some common traps. Some answers have a wrong word before the correct one. Others test spelling or number format. Now, let's start the question-by-question part. Before we continue, you may want to pause and look at questions 1 to 10. Try to predict each answer. Question 1 asks what is provided for all staff. The answer should be a noun. Focus on the keyword phrase provided for all staff, and be careful not to mix up training and free uniforms. The question phrase is provided for all staff. In the recording, listen for all employees get. That is the key signal that the answer is coming. The woman says, all employees get training, even temporary staff. The answer is training. It is directly stated, so write it exactly as you hear it. So the final answer for question 1 is training. It means pay. Write it directly in the blank. Question 2 asks what benefit you get when working at all Milo's restaurants. After the blank, we see during weekdays, so we expect a noun. Try to predict before you listen. Look at the clue word weekdays. We predict a noun. While listening, catch 2 anchor words, benefit and any of their restaurants. She says, get a discount at any of their restaurants. The answer is simply discount. We copy the word directly. Do not make it plural. Final answer, discount. The man asks about weekends, but the woman says no, so the discount works on weekdays only. The question asks what transport is provided after midnight. The gap needs a noun after provided. The man asks about the bus first, but the key part comes after late shift. The company will pay for a taxi. Listen for after midnight. The woman clearly says, pay for you to get a taxi home. So taxi is the exact word for the gap. So the answer is taxi. It's the company-provided transport, not the bike the man mentions. Question 4 asks about a high standard in the man's last job. The blank follows high standard of, so we predict a noun. Pause the video and think about the answer. The question says high standard of, and the man says high level of. So high level is our anchor phrase. When you hear it, get ready for the answer. The man clearly says, gave a really high level of service. The word service is spoken directly, so we write it exactly. There is no correction here. So question 4 is service. High level of service matches the question's high standard of service. The spelling and format are straightforward. Question 5 asks about a qualification. The blank says qualification in. We need a subject name. Listen for the subject. The key word is qualification. In the recording, listen for certificate. Communication skills is not the qualification, so don't choose it. The recording says certificate in English. Certificate means qualification, so the answer is English. So the answer for question 5 is English. Fill it in. Question 6 asks for a street name in the location column. Pause and predict the answer type. The blank is before street, so the answer is a street name. It may be a proper noun with tricky spelling. The woman says the first vacancy is in Wivenhoe Street. The man asks where, so she spells W-I-V-H-O-E. The recording spells W-I-V-H-O-E. Remember, the final letter is E, not W. Write each letter carefully. So the answer to question 6 is Wivenhoe. Fill it in. For question 7, we need a noun, something that stays clean. The note says making sure blank is clean, so the answer should be a singular noun. The woman says cleaning the equipment. This matches the blank. Don't fill in portions. That is from the previous duty. The woman's exact words are cleaning the equipment, so the answer is equipment, copied directly. Spell it carefully. The answer is equipment. Spell it E-Q-U-I-P-M-E-N-T. Do not add an S. This question asks the starting salary. Listen for several money numbers. You need to find the starting amount. Look at the blank. Starting salary tells us to find the first pay. The man wants more money. Then the woman says to begin with, you would get £9.75. $9.50 is his old job, and $11.25 is after 3 months. To begin with means the starting pay, so $9.75 is correct. Write 9.75. Keep 2 decimal places. This blank is in the duty section. You need to write another job duty. The answer should be a noun, probably something about goods or deliveries. The clue word organizing means arranging. The recording will say sorting out. Listen for this same idea and lock on to deliveries. The woman says sorting out all the deliveries. The word deliveries is the answer and should be copied exactly. Do not write stock from the earlier part. So the answer is deliveries. Remember the plural spelling. Fill in deliveries. For question 10, we need a day when the person does not work once a month. The words before the blank are once a month, so the answer is probably a day of the week. The phrase once a month tells us we need a day of the week. While listening, focus on the phrase every 4 weeks. The clearly says 1 Sunday off every 4 weeks. The word Sunday is spoken directly, so the answer is Sunday. Do not be confused by the earlier Mondays. The answer is Sunday. 1 Sunday off every 4 weeks means no work once a month. Remember to capitalize it. Let's summarize the question patterns and core vocabulary in this IELTS listening part 1. This question tested the pinse shenjing. This is a classic listening trap. In question 6, watch out for similar interference patterns. This question tested the shu zhangxing ganar. This is a classic listening trap. In questions 3, 10, watch out for similar interference patterns. This question tested the ge shishing. This is a classic listening trap. In questions 8, watch out for similar interference patterns. Overall, keep your rhythm for listening gap fills. Move on if you miss one. Next, let's review the key vocabulary from this recording. Question 1, answer, training. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 2, answer, discount. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 3, answer, taxi. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 4, answer, service. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 5, answer, English. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 6, answer, Wivenhoe. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 8, answer, 9.75. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 9, answer, deliveries. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Question 10, answer, Sunday. Pay attention to its pronunciation and spelling. Congratulations on completing this IELTS listening intensive study. See you next time.